Good morning and welcome to Inside Jacksonville, a production of the UNF Department of Communication and CW17. I'm Annie Black.
And I'm Ashley Young. It looks like we all survived Christmas, but you still have one more present to unwrap.
This one is from us to you, a whole show dedicated to the best of the best, our most touching and compelling stories of the year.
All tied up with a bow.
We start off with one that you may remember, an emotional story about a woman who got another opportunity at life.
Her passion and love for art pushed her through one of the most difficult times in her life. Joshua Brangenberg has her amazing comeback story.
A common sight here in Hemming Plaza. Artists selling paintings, jewelry, painted cups, or other decorations at the monthly art walk. June Foray is one of the artists who's usually here. She specializes in tangled art, a type of art that is known for its patterns. Like many artists, Foray had to get over her fear of what other people think.
I was afraid that people would laugh, or what would they think, or oh, she's not good enough, all that stuff you stay in your head. And I just took a chance and got brave and started doing art walk and put it out there, and it's been great since. I got a lot of good feedback.
The artists at Art Walk have to work hard to set up their show to receive that feedback. Foray says that doing shows may not be the most glamorous part of the job, but it can be one of the most rewarding.
It's actually the part that makes me feel good because I get to hear people and their feedback on my art and what they think, and I get to actually see people where my paintings are going to their home. It's like giving a child away.
Foray says other local artists have helped push her forward. She's collaborating with artist Leilani Leo on their second show.
We don't think of it as professional because we're artists, so this, we don't think of art as being our profession. Unfortunately, it's a lifestyle.
That's why Foray is like many artists. She has to work a side job as well. She runs an event planning business right next to her studio so she can roll over to paint at any time. Foray would not have picked up art again if not for a terrible tragedy. Something no one wants to hear.
So it's been almost 3 years, and I just wasn't feeling well, and I knew something was wrong. Just your body, and so I went to the doctor and had an exam, and the test results came back not good.
Foray had been diagnosed with stage 3 cervical cancer. She almost didn't survive after going into respiratory arrest. Finally, after coming back from a medically induced coma, Foray turned to the art she long ago forgot. She held on to it tightly, as if to stay alive.
Well, I went into art because I thought I was going to die, and I'm not dead, so I'm doing it.
She doesn't just want to do the right thing. Foray also wants to do what she loves.
When I got the cancer diagnosis, I was on Pinterest one day and just kind of trying to veg out a little bit, and I saw this style of drawing. And it's mostly just patterns.
Foray draws these tangled patterns with Indian ink pens of different sizes to achieve the look that she wants. These drawings can take anywhere from 20 minutes to 20 hours, depending on the amount of detail. She normally starts with a base drawing of a beautiful woman and fills in the painting with her patterns. Through her experience and with her newfound creative release, Foray wants to give back to those that she feels could benefit from art therapy.
And I'm not tearing up because I'm sad. I'm tearing up because I feel so strong.
Maybe a strength she never knew she had until she needed it. Joshua Brangenberg, Inside Jacksonville.
Now, unfortunately for us, Josh is nearly out the door. He's a senior, so he'll be graduating soon. He's pursuing a career as a photojournalist.
Next, a local radio station and its employees worked for 5 years to get back to where they were before the Great Recession of 2008. Michaela Gugliotta has WJCT's story of how they had to adjust.
Gonna be like a mess.
I don't know.
Karen Fagans is the news director at WJCT 89.9, the local NPR station. She's worked there for 9 years. In 2008, the Great Recession forced Fagans and other WJCT employees to accept the 7.5% salary cut. Along with already being a working mother, it came at an especially bad time.
My second daughter was born in 2009, so I found out about the budget cuts right about the time we realized we were having another child, and so it was a lot to deal with, trying to figure out how we're going to budget, knowing that I'm going to have one more person to take care of.
WJCT is a public broadcasting affiliate. It doesn't run commercials. In order to pay the bills, the station relies chiefly on individual donors corporate underwriting and government support. But in 2008, WJCT took a hit on multiple levels. Individual giving was cut back. They lost support from the real estate and development industries. They cut city contracts. On the government side, they lost all of their state funding, about $380,000. It was the perfect storm. Jerry Cirillo is one of the people in charge of fundraising. She had to figure out how to keep WJCT's doors open.
We cut back on a few things. We lost some programming. We lost Prairie Home Companion. That was a pretty popular radio program, but it cost us close to $30,000 a year, and we didn't have a lot of individual and corporate support for it, so unfortunately we lost that.
And, of course, the pay cuts. Employee salaries are still not back to the pre-recession days. CEO Michael Boylan says getting salaries back to where they should be is a priority. One new source of revenue is opening a nationwide network center.
We will be serving 16 million households all over the country with our public television service. It's allowed us to increase our staff from 50 people to 71 people, a 40% increase in our staff. We see that as a new sustainable revenue stream that we think will be able to allow us to expand.
Fagan says one upside is that the recession brought her and her coworkers closer together.
You get into public broadcasting because you care about your community, because you want to do the type of work that can really make a difference. And that doesn't change. I was really grateful to be somewhere where I was happy, where I felt like we had a really good team of people, and we all were going through it together.
So despite the hardship, Fagans is still able to work through it with a smile on her face and support her family. Michaela Gugliotta, Inside Jacksonville.
This was the perfect story for Michaela. She's graduating this month with a degree in multimedia journalism, and she hopes to begin a career very soon in music journalism.
Now, as students, we know that finding a job you're passionate about can be a challenge. But once you find it, building a solid career may be just as challenging. Jasmine Skinner has a story of a man whose profession meets his passion.
Fridays are considered the end of the work week for most people, but for DJ WizKid, he's just getting started. It's like a party when he helps out with the live radio mix show alongside of radio veterans Eazy-E and DJ Dr. Doom, who have showed him a few things in the studio. Every Friday, WizKid mixes at Oceania, a place where people come to dance and have a good time. It may seem easy, but he assures you it's tough to be new talent.
It's really tough because you got your haters, you have people who actually support you, so it's a mix of everything. So I kind of have to block the negativity out and just keep moving forward. I can show people better than I can prove them. So all my actions are going to speak so much louder than anything I can tell somebody. So it's hard, but I got this.
WizKid says he lets his talent speak for itself. When he's not spinning for his own events, he spins for 93.3 The Beat, a radio station that helps him network and perform with various artists and entertain large crowds. With more than 245 million listeners each month, Clear Channel Radio has 7 of their radio stations here in Jacksonville, Florida. And this is where marketing and programming director T-May gave DJ WizKid his big break.
DJ WizKid is definitely the future of The Beat. That's why I brought him in. I wanted a young, hip DJ that could represent The Beat and grow with The Beat and the station and the new direction that we're going to go. So DJ WizKid, his future is limitless. He could take it wherever he wants to.
93.3 The Beat Jams. What's up? It's your boy DJ WizKid.
WizKid says it was a teacher who gave him the music bug.
My band teacher, she taught me everything, like from reading music to kind of like creating my own style with it. So I carried that on to 9th grade to 10th grade. I continued on with band. I tried to get a day job and I got fired. Like it wasn't working. So I was like, I really just want to DJ. Like I just want to try it because I just was thinking independently. So I tried, I worked. I found another job after I got fired, of course. I worked, saved up a lot of money, and I bought 2 turntables and a little mixer, and I just took that and I ran with it.
DJ WizKid continues to promote himself with the help of social media and friends. He hopes to be one of the hottest DJs in Florida within the next 5 years. Jasmine Skinner, Inside Jacksonville.
Jasmine Skinner is a senior this year, majoring in multimedia journalism. She's currently working for iHeartMedia as a promotions assistant and enjoys acting in a web series called Fried Eggs. This next story proved that being in a family business can be stressful at times, but it can also be a great gift.
Jordan Price has a story of a family that comes from a dancing past and is dancing into the future.
Buddy Sherwood owned this dance school for over 45 years before his daughter Luann Fair began to take over. Fair said it was an easy transition because she has been around it her entire life.
For me, it just flowed just from Dad right to me. I think it's just because all along, I've always taught for Dad. So it was year after year, I would just get a little bit more and a little bit more. And Dad semi-retired, and I started handling more of the business end plus the dancing.
There are a lot of things that go into being a business owner. Learning how to juggle work, home, and children was a challenge that Luann had to figure out.
And I think that was probably the hardest because it felt like it was just nonstop. I would be a mom all day long and handle business deals during the day, paying bills and those kind of things, running around doing my errands.
Fair says despite being busy, the joy that she feels from teaching makes it all worth it.
Probably the most I get out of it for me is the ability to be able to teach children. I really, really enjoy working with kids, so being able to see them accomplish dance steps or tumbling skills and how excited they get just really gets me excited.
Throughout the years, Fair has taught kids who now have children of their own and choose to bring their children to Buddy Sherwood School of Dance because of the family atmosphere. Leslie Scott is one of them.
So I started dancing here when I was 3 and danced here my whole life. Kind of became family with everyone here at the studio. So of course, once I had children of my own, once Kaylin turned 3, we started her out, which of course, and she's loved it and continued on. And the same with Ashlyn when she turned 3, and they're both still here, and they're here 4 nights a week.
In 2004, Luann was faced with open heart surgery as a result of suffering a mini stroke at the age of 44.
After the dance classes were all over, I was taping some music, sitting in a chair, had a great day, no issues, and at that time I had a little mini stroke, which from that point there led us into heart surgery.
Luann had to take some time off during the busiest part of the dance year, but it gave her daughter Allie a chance to work closely with the faculty at the studio and to realize her career path.
It kind of just was easy for me to fill in for her, and I think it was about that time that I knew that this is what I wanted to do. So as tragic as it was and as hard as it was, oddly enough, I'm thankful for that as well, because it really opened my eyes to know that this is where my heart was and this is exactly what I wanted to do.
Luann was thankful that she was able to recover from her open heart surgery and get back into running the family business to start the process of turning the business over to Allie.
Daddy had it over 60 years. I've ran it on my own for over 30 years. And now to be able to pass that on to Allie and this just to continue, and it may even go past that if she has children. I can't think of anything that makes me more proud.
For the life added that Luann is thankful for the life and the opportunities she's been given, and she looks forward to retiring knowing the family business is in good hands with her daughter Allie. Making it out on the other side, how one woman's story became a national scandal and what she's doing to overcome it. You'll want to see the story again.
Plus, she thought it was the flu, but it nearly killed her. Stick around for this compelling story of survival.
Yay, first block done.
Looking for these? You drive buzzed. It could be one very expensive ride.
First, you gotta make bail. Then pay me to get your car back.
Your insurance premiums will go through the roof.
You have to go fishing.
And my legal fees just keep adding up. All told, it could end up costing you $10,000.
Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Bring out the action hero in you. Fuel up right and get energized. Be part of the greatest action movie ever. The first movie that puts you in the action. Show us how you train and eat like an action hero. Join in at actionheroalliance.com.
So, same time next week?
Well, of course. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free tips to help you save, go to Feed the Pig.
We are back on this best of edition of Inside Jacksonville and the inspirational story of a woman who blew the whistle on a national scandal.
Lauren Hersey brought us up to date last month on Paula Coughlin, a woman who learned that doing the right thing can have a very high price.
Paula Coughlin owns a yoga studio in Atlantic Beach. She says practicing yoga helps her find clarity and peace. There was a time when her life was anything but peaceful. She was a victim of one of the worst abuses in U.S. Navy history. It happened nearly 25 years ago at a convention for naval aviators. It became known as Tailhook. Some 90 people sexually assaulted in a corridor at the convention hotel. Coughlin was the one who blew the whistle on the whole debacle.
As women walked down the hallway, they closed ranks on the person in the hallway and they start trying to pull your clothes off and knocked me to the floor, reached underneath my skirt, tried to pull my underwear off, just complete mob scene groping, and actually kind of pushed me down the hallway as everybody was trying to get their hands on me.
Coughlin said the attack was more than a brutal assault. She said it was betrayal.
I walked into a group full of naval aviators that I worked with that I thought were, my comrades in arms, and was assaulted by them. And they actually chanted Admiral's Aid, Admiral's Aid. They knew who I was. It turns out I was actually a high value target.
Coughlin says she knew it was the end of her career when she told her boss, Admiral John Snyder, what happened.
The next morning, I had breakfast with Admiral Snyder, and I told him what had happened, and his words were, "That's what you get. That's what you get when you go down a hallway full of drunk aviators."
That seemed to be the same attitude of the Navy's initial investigation, which blamed the attack on a few low-ranking naval officers. But Assistant Navy Secretary Barbara Pope refused to accept the report and insisted the Navy do another report and look at what we needed to do about accountability and responsibility and the larger issues at hand. The careers of 14 admirals, including Snyder, and nearly 300 naval aviators were scrutinized, but they were never prosecuted. Coughlin ultimately resigned from the Navy and is now a victim advocate, saying little has changed.
Nobody else 20-some years later could still be fighting the Navy over how they treat victims of sexual assault. I wouldn't want anybody to do it. It's a terrible job. But since it's mine, I think I can own it and press on. And I couldn't have done that without learning how to process quietly in my own head through yoga.
That's one reason why Coughlin opened her studio. Melissa Sherman is an instructor there. She says Coughlin's gratitude is apparent in the way she teaches yoga.
Her thankfulness about life and her appreciation for her yoga is apparent. She's one of the most enthusiastic yoga teachers. I mean, to take a Paula Ocean yoga class is like experiencing an entire wrap-up of personality and enthusiasm and support and graciousness and gratitude for life.
Coughlin says she's thankful for the things that happen in her life because without them, she wouldn't be where she is right now.
We all have so much abundance in our lives that we can actually sit down together and count our blessings and count what's going right in the world. I always think that's, gratitude is the beginning of every positive emotion in your life. And I just think that that's a really good place to start.
Coughlin says despite thinking about the incident every day, she has been able to find her purpose through practicing yoga. Lauren Hersey, Inside Jacksonville.
Coughlin says she still thinks about the incident every day, but she's thankful she's been able to find peace through her yoga.
Now Lauren Hersey is a senior this year majoring in multimedia journalism.
And as Thanksgiving rolled around this year, we shared some amazing life stories of thankfulness. I talked to a woman who is not just thankful to be healthy, she's thankful to be alive. Here's her story.
Anna
Furbush is a talented pianist and teaches piano students for a living. She and her students are getting ready for the recital. She's thankful for a lot already, mostly the fact that she's still alive. Furbush almost died a few years ago. 5 years ago, she took a missions trip to Haiti. Right after that, she traveled to North Carolina for her grandparents' 50th anniversary. She started feeling ill, but was told it was just the flu. She thought it might be something else.
It was starting to look like it wasn't the flu, it was looking kind of different than the flu symptoms. And so I went ahead and went to the doctor there, and they wound up doing blood work, and they told me that they diagnosed me with malaria.
Even though Furbush was really sick, she said she was relieved that they finally knew what was wrong. Malaria is a parasitic disease that is usually passed from mosquitoes. It can also be fatal.
The doctors told me that everything, I was really, really sick. They told me that they didn't know how I lived, because my, it's called a parasitemia count. My parasitemia count was 17%, and they said that when you're anywhere from 15 to 20%, then it's unlikely that you're going to live.
Furbush was too sick to feel anything. After a 5-day stay in the hospital, a blood transfusion, and taking antibiotics, she got better. But there were some really scary moments in the recovery process.
There was a point where I stopped breathing. My sister if I was asleep, my sister would wake me up to breathe and everything because I was just that sick.
Well, I was planning on graduating this semester, but I've decided to stick around for one more class. And also, I've been balancing a job as a program director at the Spinnaker. I have an internship at WJCT, and I work at iHeartMedia with Jasmine as a promo assistant, and with you.
Exactly. And a little known fact is that Annie just turned 23, so happy belated birthday.
Thanks, Ashley.
You're welcome. And when we return, reaching out to touch a life.
How one woman's fight with cancer has helped her influence dozens of others. Don't go away, you will want to see this one. You won't want to see this one.
Different. Society should aspire to be more like us.
Be part of the first class. Get energized. Get outside.
Hold on, guys. It's gonna get bumpy.
And get moving. Experience the power of physical activity. Join the movement at ActionHeroAlliance.com.
Learning how to kickflip 6 stairs takes determination. So will getting into college. I've got what it takes. So do you.
Global warming is a problem. It's a problem.
I wanted to do something to become more energy efficient.
To protect the environment. To protect the future.
So I turned to Energy Star for help.
Energy Star is helping me be part of the solution.
Everyone can join the fight against global warming. Go to EnergyStar.gov to learn what you can do.
Together,
we can all make a difference.
Rounding out this Best of Inside Jacksonville year-ender is a story that may be near and dear to many of us. That's because cancer has touched so many lives.
Brittany Donovan has the story of one woman's second chance to help save yet again.
This is Diana Lanier. 4 years ago, she was diagnosed with advanced stage breast cancer. Fighting the deadly disease took all her strength. Paying for her treatment threatened to take everything else.
Well, with having 6 children, and at the time we didn't have insurance, so it was big. Like everything mattered, even just driving places. So yeah, it was overwhelming.
Lanier's family relies on her husband's single income, so getting the special clothes she needed after surgery was going to be tough. That's when she turned to an organization called In the Pink.
You can tell that the people there understand what you're going through immediately. Like it's warm, it's loving, but they actually offered to provide me with the garment I needed. And it just meant so. I was in the back room just crying. Yeah.
In the Pink is a nonprofit boutique for people living with cancer. The store provides everything a cancer patient needs during treatment. Cancer survivor Jerry Millard opened the store in 2009, just as the recession was tightening its grip on the economy.
I had to pull out every credit card I owned at the time and start charging things to get it built out and get the stock ordered and those kinds of things. Nobody would lend money at the time, especially for a new concept. So that was my only choice. And
Millard got the idea for In the Pink during her own treatment. She wrote in a notebook all the things she'd wished she'd had access to. 8 years later, she saw this boutique on 3rd Street in Jacksonville Beach go up for lease. She knew she couldn't wait. Millard added a room for a salon and ordered medical equipment with her credit on the line. Licensing and insurance were also expensive. With no budget for marketing, she had to rely on word of mouth. She visited doctors' offices and hospitals to get the word out.
Certainly the emotions involved were very, very close to my heart. As a 2-time survivor, I just felt like something like this needed to exist.
In the Pink accepts most insurance plans. Clients pay the balance. If clients can't pay, the items they need are free of charge, covered by donations and fundraising events. Business has done so well that Millard opened a new location in downtown Jacksonville and a third in Sarasota. In the Pink has become like a home to many men, women, and children with cancer. Pepper Sherman is one. She recently came in to try on her new wig.
Dealing with. You don't really want to walk in to just wig salons and be like, oh, I have cancer, and then everybody's like, oh, I'm so sorry. Da, da, da. You know, you want it to be more just accepting and going, okay, well, let's fit you for a wig.
Sherman came to the right place.
So it's been good.
In the Pink served more than 2,000 people in the Jacksonville area last year. And with help from what she says is a very giving community, Millard has paid back every penny of every loan. Brittany Donovan, Inside Jacksonville.
Brittany is only 20 years old and she's graduating with a double major with multimedia journalism and sociology.
And I also heard that after college, she hopes to travel.
She's so young.
I know, very good. Well, that's a wrap for today's Inside Jacksonville.
If you missed anything from today's program, just click through to our website, go to unfmedia.com and click on Inside Jacksonville. You'll find expanded versions of our stories, photos, interviews, and other extras.
Thanks for joining us this Sunday morning.
We'll see you next time, Inside Jacksonville.